punishment was handed out after Swindon admitted making illegal payments to players. Swindon claim they've been savagely treated and revealed today they had offered to withdraw from the playoffs, which only 11 days ago earned them First Division status for the first time in their history.
Swindon is a town in mourning. The flag above its civic offices flies at half-mast, a reflection of just how deep and how widespread are the feelings of grief and injustice over the decision to relegate its football team from the First to the Third Division. By day and by night, hundreds of Swindon fans have poured into the county ground to voice their protest and let their emotions loose. Today, Swindon's directors went into emergency session. They decided they would appeal and revealed to their fans how they'd offered to stay out of the promotion playoffs. The Swindon players too vowed to back the club's appeal all the way.
We are glad the club is appealing to the Football League, and we pin our hopes on the football authorities to impose a more appropriate and reasonable penalty.
I've gone to every match, right? I mean, I've been put up there to be kicked back down there.
Exactly.
And, you know, I don't want my money back. I want Swindon Town back where they've worked to be, and that's in the First Division.
Swindon had admitted failing to declare their players' true earnings, which in turn affected transfer fees paid to other clubs. But how widespread is the practice of irregular payments in the English game?
If you actually looked at every club in the First Division and said, you know, are you without a single breach of regulations in your history, they wouldn't be able to say yes to that. And if you follow it through, you won't have anybody left in the First Division.
The Football League's decision has left them with a major problem. Who will replace Swindon in the First Division? Sheffield Wednesday, who finished in the third relegation place, believe they should be given a reprieve. Sunderland, who lost the Second Division playoff final against Swindon, insist they should be promoted. But their northeast rivals Newcastle claim they have an equally valid case, having finished third in the league table. Hard to believe that just 11 days ago, Swindon's manager, Ozzy Ardiles, was enjoying the acclaim of all Wiltshire. Tonight, his achievement and ruins. He's preparing to fly home, not to resign, but to help Swindon.
Manager Ozzy Ardiles is returning from Argentina to join the fight. The club was punished for making illegal payments to players.
Fans were at the ground early, still furious at the decision.
We know they've done something terribly wrong, but it's the supporters and the community who's suffering here.
The players expressed their anger.
We are quite naturally devastated at the result of yesterday's Football League inquiry. We are glad the club is appealing to the Football League, and we pin our hopes on the football authorities to impose a more appropriate and reasonable penalty.
At a press conference almost taken over by fans, the chairman revealed he'd offered to pull the club out of the playoff final, but was refused by the league. He also said the board would have resigned if they'd felt it would help the appeal.
The advice is, most firmly, that we carry on until the appeal is heard. If I thought that it would do Swindon Town Football Club any good at all, then I would walk out today.
The league is still planning who'll take Swindon's place in Division 1, probably Sheffield Wednesday, with Bournemouth staying in the Second Division, but opposition to the decision is growing, notably.
I think they've taken the worst of all options. For financial irregularities, I believe there should have been financial penalties.
Regular payments to their players. But their promotion may depend on the outcome of legal action by Swindon, who are taking the Football League to the High Court next Monday in an attempt to get their punishment quashed.
Such was the urgency of a decision on who should replace Swindon in the First Division that some members of the Football League Management Committee were ordered back from the World Cup. But they'd barely reached London before Swindon Town were announcing they'd be taking the league to the High Court in an effort to get the decision to demote them to the Third Division overturned.
We believe that the decision of the Football League has been unjust and obviously the punishment has been out of all proportion, we believe, and this is why we are taking the league to the High Court.
The Football League, though, determined to press on. 3 hours later, they reached a decision. If any appeal by Swindon fails, this is what happens.
Then the clubs which lost in the playoff finals be promoted to fill the vacancies, namely Sunderland be promoted to the First Division and Tranmere Rovers be promoted to the Second Division.
In Sunderland, they could hardly believe their luck. After days of uncertainty, the celebrations on Wearside could now begin.
I always consider myself a reasonably lucky person, and today's been one of those lucky days. Things have gone quite well. We're not there yet, but the prospect of playing against the Liverpools and Man Uniteds filled me with a great deal of joy.
So, Roker Park, one of the great heartlands of the English game, prepares for a return to Division 1. A disappointment for Sheffield Wednesday, who'd hoped to stay up. All this despite the fact that Sunderland finished only 6th in the second division and were beaten in the playoff final by Swindon. Their troubles continue to mount. The club has been told it's now to face a second investigation into alleged breaches of regulations by present and former directors, officials and players. It's understood that the present Swindon manager, Ozzy Ardiles, and 9 members of the promotion-winning side will now have to face questions.
Players has been overturned by an FA Board of Appeal. Instead, the club, who won promotion to the First Division at the end of last season, have been ordered to remain in the second. It's thought Tranmere Rovers will not now be promoted to the third.
Despite Swindon fans' vigil outside today's hearing, the club's hopes for First Division football next season effectively disappeared today. Though they won't go down to the third either, as the Football League has decided they should. Instead, the 3-man FA board reached a compromise. The club's promotion would be reversed.
In that Swindon Town FC be demoted 1 division, i.e. to the second division for the 1990-91 season.
Immediately after the announcement, Swindon's chairman said he was sure his board would accept the decision, and later paid tribute to the club's supporters who'd campaigned so strongly.
Unless you live in Swindon and district, you just can't believe what they've done and what they've organised and what they've been through. And I think it's a tremendous credit. I think they've won today.
Swindon's manager said it meant he would stay with the club.
I believe that it was the best that we could achieve. So we have won today just another battle, and I'm very happy to be in the second division next season.
But some of the fans who travelled to London weren't so pleased.
Well, I think the decision was basically a sellout. I thought the first decision was an injustice to Swindon supporters. I think this decision is an injustice to all football supporters.
I'm a Leeds United supporter, not a Swindon Town supporter. I came down here to see justice done, and it hasn't been.
Sunderland, not Swindon, will now go to Division 1, and Tranmere Rovers will stay in the third. Their reaction tonight?
Acute disappointment, annoyance at the way it's been handled, and a call for the FA and the Football League to get their act together, to amalgamate.
With Division 1 status snatched from their grasp, today's decision was still a disappointment for Swindon fans too. Stuart Maister, News at 10, Central London.